So recently, President Trump held a wild cabinet meeting to start the year off 2019, right? Now, in it, he said quite a few nonsensical things. That's not a shock, including the idea that Afghanistan was responsible for turning the Soviet Union into Russia. Now, isn't that a good argument to leave Afghanistan? Well, again, look, President Trump said he was in favor of ending these wars, getting out of these countries. He talked about Syria. Now he's kind of backpedaled on that, which sucks because I actually give him a lot of credit for ending the conflict in Syria, at least our part in that conflict in Syria. So again, I want to give him credit, but he's got to actually do the right things to get credit. But anyway, he says, as I said, nonsensical things because he doesn't understand history, right? Now, he also added in this that he said he would have been a good general. He would have been a great general. Well, you know, look, to be fair, he had a chance to be a good general, but unfortunately, he avoided military service by, well, his father actually got him had actually gotten a doctor. That was a New York Times story on that, to sign off on him having fake bone spurs. Okay. All right. Now, amid all the other fun highlights in that crazy interview is the fact that Donald Trump really loves his generals. In fact, following that Oval Office meeting, the Toronto Star's Washington correspondent, Daniel Dale, tweeted this, quote, Trump's hingedness level was not high today. Is it ever really? I mean, let's be fair. Is it ever really high? Just saying. Then he added, Trump said he had a meeting about Iran in the Middle East with lots of good-looking generals. Quote, like from a movie, better looking than Tom Cruise and stronger. And I had more generals than I've ever seen. And we were at the bottom of this incredible room. I said, this is the greatest room I've ever seen. Wow. Yeah, it's the greatest room he'd ever seen compared to any other room. It has to be the best. He also added, it's got big water, ocean. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. And maybe he threw some towels. I don't know. It wouldn't shock me. So look, the relevant part of that is Trump's got a hard-on for generals. Well, no shit. Of course. Look, and it's because deep down he knows that he could have never been a general. Why? Because he's too cowardly and too stupid. And he knows it. Look, Donald Trump's a stupid person, but he definitely knows what he can and cannot do. Right? It is pretty sad and pretty pathetic. And by the way, Tom Cruise? Really? Okay, what general do we have now that looks better than Tom Cruise? I'm not actually knocking our generals. I'm just curious. Like, I'm curious about this now because apparently America's got some pretty goddamn good-looking generals. Generally speaking, of course. No, what's funny about that statement is that, again, Trump only cares about appearances, not effectiveness. I mean, recently, I covered this, and this was a fantastic article, right, about an NBC, a veteran NBC reporter who quit the network. Why did he quit NBC? Well, it's because they were blatantly pro-war. So they would always talk about how, oh no, war is great, and they would avoid the mistakes of the generals, right? They would avoid the fact that the generals did not have good exit strategies, and that in the Middle East, their entire policy was not about winning conflict. It's about prolonging conflict as much as possible. So it's not surprising that they have no idea how to win the wars because the whole point is to not win the war. The whole point is to prolong these wars and to prolong occupation so that people and, generals and not only that, but defense contractors continue to get money. And of course, why he quit is that he said, look, NBC and CNN and other mainstream media outlets, they are afraid to call out the generals and the military. And look, apparently so is Donald Trump. Donald Trump doesn't care if they're winning. No, he only cares if they look good. It's all about appearances. And so him saying, oh, we got the greatest generals because they look good. It's not surprising at all. So very, very sad, very pathetic. We have a man-child as president who doesn't care about military effectiveness, who doesn't care about ending these actual conflicts. It's all a soundbite. It's all vanity. And what can I say? Look, the thing about that is I actually did have a hope that of the one thing that he would actually follow through on is that he would actually end some of these conflicts. But he's shown again and again, surrounded by these apparently hot generals that he just can't say no to. He continues to, allow ourselves to be involved in these conflicts in the Middle East that are benefiting no one except for wealthy defense contractors and, of course, weapons manufacturers. And that's the sad truth of it. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.